Thou shalt not. We're gonna say dot 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 because I don't know what the true name of this episode is now. Sidebar: I am sick, and all of this is congested. All of this is congested. And if you do not have, you get sick, and you do not have Kleenex Cool Touch in your life, let me tell you, it's the best thing. Okay. Now, and another side note, I'm inclined to believe that we really do need to have healthcare kind of like Canada where everybody has access to it because there is no reason for me to be sitting in the ER 100% A-okay. I'm not there for myself, but 100% A-okay when I went in. Sit there 8 hours, 5 hours in the waiting room, 3 hours of triage because there are individuals who do not have access to. Uh, yeah. Ivy is okay. She doesn't have her mom came, but she does. She had the surgery, the exploratory surgery. She's fine. Uh, Brian decided that he's gonna do the little webisodes type stuff with Tara, and um, Dominique is a final place that they move out of their other house that they were living in to move into a better school district for her daughter to go to a better school. Um, blah blah blah, whatever. Okay, so let's get down to the main thing. First of all, Dominique's mom workout thing. It looks okay, but hold on, just her intensity. If you are not interested in having someone yell at you like you're in a boot camp type workout place, and that's probably not gonna work for you. And her fight the devil and all that, girl, it just won't work for me. Her intensity and her yelling and stuff would agitate me to no end. That still wasn't even really the whole heaviest part of the episode. The very first, I believe, the first no, maybe it was the first or second episode of the series, they go to the pastor's house, the white lady. I think her name is Deanna. I still don't remember what that lady's name is. But they go to her house, and she has the plantation, Rutherford Plantation, established 2010. And they flash in on it, but nobody ever makes a comment on it. This time, they flash it on it, and the ladies and Dominic, they have an issue with it. Tara was already at the house today. She wasn't standing outside when this whole seeing the plaque and having an issue with it was transpiring. They decide to bring it up to the lady. She basically is like, plantation is derived from, the land and all that stuff. And Dominique basically makes the argument, you can sugarcoat it however you want to, but at the end of the day, when I see that word, this is how I feel. Regardless of what you're saying, I should feel like whatever the word is derived from, I don't care. When you say it, I'm gonna have a problem with it. So, there's tons of words out there that are derived from something else, but if you say it, someone is gonna take offense to it. I don't care how you sugarcoat it. The lady felt, kind of uneasy in her own house. She felt like, she was being attacked or whatever in her own house. And, she had a right to feel that way, but at the same time, I want to say this. No different than Tara in that Christian bar mitzvah. If you knew that your child was coming of age, and like I said in a previous video, you have to study Hebrew and you have to study the Torah and stuff like that for a while prior to. A lot of kids start when they start going to school, they start going to Hebrew school, whatever, at the same time. So if you start doing this at the very last minute, that allows me to believe that you're only doing it because it's on television. It's not because it's something that you really wanted to do prior, because you would have already put forth the initiative to have your children in school learning the language so that they can do the bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, and all that stuff. So, go on somewhere with that one. So, like I said, if that was all for TV, then I'm going to believe that this one was for, because if Tara doing the whole bar mitzvah at the last minute for her son was for TV, and I believe that Dominique's showing out or showing her initial feelings about this is for TV, because she stated herself that she had already been over to the pastor's house several occasions, and she had seen the sign and it always bothered her, but she never said anything. So now out of the blue, you want to say something about a sign that's been there for a while, where you could have brought it up the first time you were invited to her house. And I would assume that if you were invited to her house at any occasion, she felt comfortable enough to have you there. You guys well knew each other well enough to be there that you could have brought it up then instead of waiting until there was a television show to bring up the issue. Now, when I seen it, I would have said something about it. Girl, what's going on with the sign? What's going on with that plaque? Rutherford Plantation? I would have brought it up, but that's just me. Um, I think the lady, the pastor, I can't remember her name again. I have to figure out her name. She was dead wrong for saying, well, even Jesus had laborers. You could sugarcoat it, put it in a nice, pretty little box, slap a bow on it, put some nice strings on it. People who worked on plantations, who were black, who were Africans, they were not there as laborers per se in the nice, sweet, we're going to get a paycheck and go home at the end of the day. They were there by force. So let's flip it. We're going to call you a laborer after I have taken you off that Rutherford plantation that was established in 2010. I've put you in chains. They put you in the bottom of a boat. I take you to a place where you don't know anyone, you don't know anything, and if you have survived that voyage across the water, I'm going to separate you, your husband, and your children. I'm going to sell them to different places. Okay? Now, I take you, and I'm going to rape you, and I'm going to force you to bear children, and I'm going to sell those children as well. I'm going to make you work from sunup to sundown with very little humane practices. I'm going to give you the leftovers or whatever I choose to give you. You're going to get what I choose to give you. Okay, not what you want, but what I choose to give you. If you don't feel good, guess what? You're still going to work that day. And you're going to work hard. And you're going to work in the sun. And you're going to work in the snow. And you're going to work whatever I say. Okay? And if you don't, I'm going to beat you into submission until you decide that you're going to do what I say. And then, when it's all said and done, and you're finally, your spirit is broken damn near, and you can't take it anymore, and you have tried to run off, but we have beat you again, and then I want you to tell me that you were a laborer. I want you to tell me that you were not a slave, and that when you see the word plantation, it doesn't invoke some kind of emotion that is not positive, that is 100% negative. Okay, so her sugarcoating it, her trying to pull, a little rouge and make it seem like it was A-okay. It didn't sit well with me. Don't act as if this word doesn't bring about some kind of emotion in individuals. I don't care. I don't care who you pray to. I don't care how upstanding an individual you believe that you are. I don't care, how great of an individual that you are. If you lived in somewhere, I think she said she was in Kentucky or something like that. If you lived in the South your whole life, then you know that word invokes emotion in individuals. And if you don't, then you're naive, and now you've been told, and now you know. So now you know. So you should do better. But if everybody in your household, not everybody, somebody should know that word invokes an emotion in individuals who are not white. Or hell, even in some individuals that are white. So please cut with the little, it's just a word, it goes back to the land. No, because the connotations that are associated, everything that's associated with that word, regardless of how far you take it back, the most things that people think of when they think of plantation now and this time has nothing to do with land. It has everything to do with slavery, okay? So she can't sugarcoat that in any format, any facet. She can't, no. There's nothing that you can say to make me think that plaque was okay. And I took issue with it when I seen it the first time. But unlike the other ladies, I would have said something that first time. Okay. Now, on to their meeting. The ladies, Tara, Dominique, I believe Ivy, and... excuse me. Tara, Dominique, Ivy, and the other lady, the Puerto Rican lady, or Dominican. I think that, Tara was fine in saying what she had to say. She had the right to say whatever she wanted to say, when, pretending to the whole, that lady wasn't there to defend herself. And yeah, that's true. But at the same time, if Tara is from LA, or the West Coast in general, most people on the West Coast, when they see anything that has to do with Confederate flags, plantation and stuff like that, they're thrown off. They're taken aback because out west and up north, you don't see that on a regular, consistent basis. Down south, you'll see Confederate flags flying. You'll see, you know, plantation or certain things that are associated with the history of slavery. You'll see the whole reenactment or the South, the South shall rise again, that type of stuff. You'll see all that. So it's probably not as shocking as someone who's grown up, born and bred in the South versus someone who's from the West or from up north. But yeah. So my whole thing with her is she should. Oh my god. My whole thing with Tara is realistically, it would have seemed like she probably would have had a little bit more apprehension about the whole word as well, instead of acting like, I don't know, just acting real funky about it. She acted real, well, it's nothing wrong with the word type. She acted as if the word was just, it had no kind of, it had nothing associated with it to her. When she knows good and well that word invokes an emotion in most people who are descendants of slaves. I don't care what she says or how she goes about it. Which leads me to believe if she was acting like that, then that means that are you sucking up to that lady so that you can get a position or get a hookup or, a hand out, a hand up, whatever, so that you can go ahead and get your ministry started? Maybe so you can be a guest minister or guest preacher or whatever at their church. That would be the only reason that I could foresee you sitting there being extra up her. Okay? That's the only reason I could foresee her being all extra over the top when it came to being so defensive for that lady. Otherwise, you could have been like, yeah, I feel this way, but I see where she's coming from in terms of that was her house. And that's how she felt. Whatever the case, y'all, I don't know. So it's whatever. I'm kind of looking forward to The First Wife's Confidential, I believe it is. Shaun the Sunset, I can't do it. Love and Hip Hop New York. Okay, we're going to go ahead and say it's not scripted, but if it's not scripted, let me guarantee you one thing. They are putting a 10, a 15, a 20, a 35, a couple of hundreds, all that on too. I mean, it's like they're drawing out issues that do not need to be drawn out. They're talking about stuff that is so irrelevant, and they're like, certain things just don't make sense. Why would I, as your girlfriend, speaking of Joe Budden, his girlfriend Tahiri and his mom, why would I, as your girlfriend, be okay with your mother bringing your ex-girlfriend, who was the closest thing to a wife, to help you as an intervention to get clean? And if Joe Budden was sober for 14 years prior to him relapsing again, and he supposedly, what he said, at first I think he said he was 27, but realistically I don't believe he's 27. So if he was 27, then look, look, for real. But if he said he was 32. He said he relapsed when he was 14. That means that he had to be about 18, or he relapsed after 14 years. So that means he has to be 18 when he first got clean, which means that he went throughout his whole career not doing any drugs or anything of the sort. Are you serious? Like when you was singing Pump It Up, you weren't on anything. You didn't smoke anything. You didn't do anything at all. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he was 18, got clean, and didn't touch anything again until he was 32. You can't. There's no way. So until the next time, you guys, take care. Bye.